Sweet. I'll keep around a corner then, and we'll go from here. So, this is my Summer Sizzler guide, and I can't lie, this is going to be a little bit about me. But it's essentially going through what I went through last year. As many of you, some of you, I assume pretty much all of you know, I went through a bodybuilding prep last year. So for that, it meant dieting for a very long time. 20 weeks from May until September. And it was not hell on earth, but it wasn't the funnest of experiences. Obviously, that is a extreme circumstance. Normally, during bodybuilding preps, they prefer to do them through winter, just because it's obviously colder, and it's a little bit easier to manage in terms of socials and stuff like that. But there's a lot of transferable stuff we can move from it into yourselves. Not only I did it last year, but obviously over the last kind of 5 years, I've been dieting at various points throughout the year. And summer, can't lie, is the toughest period. A lot of people like going on holiday. A lot of people going just coming not necessarily off plan. We got loads of socials. There's plenty of you. I'm looking at you, Mills, have throughout summer. Um, and with that, obviously, we want to get as much balance in as possible. So yeah, Shark, he's talking about me again. But yeah, I was on 1,700 calories from May until September. That is shit. May, June, July, August, and the first week of September. It wasn't the funnest of experiences. Um, but yeah, a lot of you won't be down as low as that. A lot of you will have lower calories depending on your goals. But ultimately, we want to look for as much balance and as much basically damage limitation throughout summer. So with that, we're going to hit a few little bits of what I got up to and then stuff we can do to implement it to you guys. I know Mills has got a personal summer social just purely because it's some sorry, Millie to Mills to keep picking on you. But you've got so much going on every weekend that it is a real testament to your discipline that you're gonna hopefully stay on track throughout all of it and come out of the other side in a fantastic position. But yeah, during that time, the first kind of especially 3 months of it, this is all I did. I went on a couple of 2-day trips to Mallorca. I was on work trips to London, date nights with my ex-partner at the time, date nights and lunches out. Went to Chelsea, went to London to watch Chelsea twice. I worked 2 jobs, including the personal training, and also went back in the hospitality throughout the summer. Tried to keep weekends enjoyable. Tried to see friends, takeaways, fakeaways, so on, you name it. It wasn't any by any chance an off summer being fully on plan. I had to have a lot of balance between it all. You can see my editing skills gone very well down here. So here's a few things I did to help with the process, and now passing on to you guys. Number one, biggest one I preach to all of you guys is plan in the socials, especially if you've only got one or two, it's a little bit easier. If you know you're entering summer with an absolute buck ton of socials coming up, you're gonna have to make a plan, unfortunately. Yes, it is easier. Yes, it is it's gonna be shit. I can't lie. It's gonna be tough. Um, but having a plan going in and then coming out the other side, it's just going to make things so much easier. Okay. Unfortunately, there's going to be sacrifices. Those of you which have got loads of socials coming up, you're going to have to pick and choose which ones we're going to take, um, which ones you're going to take in terms of be accountable. You're going to be able to track your calories fully, and you're going to have to kind of sacrifice the good of food options. And then some of them we can turn around and go, do you know what? That one's going to be really tough to manage. That one we'll take the ease on. We'll take the hit on that one. Okay. For example, if you're going away for the weekend, long weekend away, you're going up to let's say, don't know, going to Italy for the weekend. Okay. Going to be pretty hard to tough. Going to be pretty tough to manage. Going to be pretty tough to track, especially with our good food options out there. We'll probably take that as a hit. Okay. However, the weekend after, you might turn around and say, I've got a bottomless brunch and I've then got a meal out with my partner. Yeah, unfortunately, you're gonna have to take a hit on that one. We can make things easier for that. So, like here, we can reduce the calories, like many of you have done already, and plan in days beforehand, making sure we're hitting up the sessions. However, you're gonna have to look at meal options that night, for example. Checking the menu out beforehand. Like, there's always this meme where you see the waiter come up to you. Oh, do you know what you're gonna have? Yeah, I knew 3 days ago before I already came in. Like, it's gonna be that kind of vibe. Okay. If you're training, I'd make sure to still get your training day in, unfortunately. Okay. If you know you're going out on a Saturday, however, sessions for the week dictated that you're still gonna have to train on a Saturday, still hit a session. Don't look for an excuse just because you're going out one night to miss a training session. Okay, you've got to keep as consistent as possible, and then if you come out the other side, it's going to be so much easier. Okay, like I said on here, if you're eating out, I would 100% recommend looking at the menu beforehand and balancing your nutrition as best possible. Biggest thing for this was an easy choice is going to like a Nando's, a Prezzo's, or even a Wagamama's, anything like that. Because if you use Nutritrack, as I showed Sam earlier on, there is a eating out option in there with all your takeaway options. Okay, so you can kind of look, say 2 or 3 days beforehand in the menu, whack it in, I'll say on a Friday night, you're gonna have, I don't know, like a chicken ramen with a couple of dal buns. Sweet, you know you're having that. That's hit you 900 calories. You might have 1,000 calories then to plan in for the rest of that day. Okay, sounds pretty standard, but it's a lot of thing. It's something which a lot of people kind of neglect, especially in summer because they just want to go out and enjoy themselves. Okay, moving on. I think this says don't over restrict. Yes, it does. Don't over restrict. I can't lie. I'm very happy being unsociable. I like my own company. Which is quite weird considering I personal train. Um, but I'm quite happy just to sit at home all day and do nothing. Like now, everyone's down the beach. I've been got home at 4:30, and I've just been sat here. It's been chill. Like, um, I'm quite happy in my own kind of bubble. However, those of you which are social butterflies and love a weekend, you're gonna have to pick and choose your battles, like I just said. Okay, pick the ones you want to untrack and enjoy. Pick the ones you're gonna have to sacrifice. Okay, bit of forward thinking, essentially leading on from the last tab. Okay. So yeah, as I said, bodybuilding diets are extreme and are not something that you guys need to endure unless you want to try it. I'm not putting it upon anyone, not forcing you to do anything. Okay. I was very restrictive last summer. Um, and you need to remind yourselves you guys don't need to be as restrictive, okay? As long as you're hitting that consistency of like steps, water, you're balancing your nutrition Monday to Friday. A lot of you work Monday to Friday, and very few, I think, of my clients now work on weekends. Um, it might be worth we look into higher and low day calories. Monday to Friday, we're going to drop the calories. There's a lot more structure, a lot easier to get those nutrition targets in than the weekends when you've got a lot more temptation. That's something we can all look into going forward. Okay. Eating out, like I've just said again, everything of these 3 or 4 slides kind of just revolves into one. Okay. If you're eating out, plan your meals around protein as well. All right. If you know you're going to ZZ's, for example, it's going to be heavy on carbs. So make sure throughout the day you're going to be having high protein meals. Okay, maybe reduce the carbs on some of those meals. If you're going to Nando's, for example, it's probably the best option for you now. Can't lie, but it is pretty boring and overpriced for chicken for what it is. Um, but yeah, if you know you're going somewhere particularly carby, Prezzo's, or you're going to as I said, ZZ's, maybe somewhere in Weymouth, it's probably going to be down the harbour, the George, or somewhere like that. It's going to be quite carby. It's going to be quite fatty as well. Okay. So you can always have a good mindset of where you're going in with, but just try and plan your rest of your meals around protein as an example for that day. If you're going to eat out, I want you to enjoy it. Like, don't feel like you need to have a salad. Okay. Don't feel like you need to go for the boring option and turn around and go, I'm gonna have a burger but with no bun. Okay. Have a burger, have a bun, have the chips. If you want to be slightly more restrictive, maybe stop having chips or something like that. If you really want to be self-conscious on your carb sources. Okay. Like me personally, I would probably swap out the chips, but that's just kind of in tune with the diet at the moment. Okay. It's important to understand your weight will fluctuate regardless of what you eat. Okay. There's a lot of hidden calories in these restaurants. If you go into somewhere where you can track ZZ's again, as an example, Wagamama's, Coke, anywhere like that, their majority of the time, all that because of legislation and law, those calories have to be accounted for regardless. Okay. So it doesn't really matter what you pick on that order on that menu, those calories would have been, all those hidden calories would have been accounted for. It's when you go to your more independent places, Sambo's, for example, Kika, the George Custom House Key, places like that. Okay, there's gonna be a lot of hidden oils and a lot of hidden different cooking methods, your deep fat fries and stuff like that. Okay, so it's important to remember Monday, Sunday and Monday morning, it might fluctuate up. Again, as many of you should know by now, it's just purely water weight. Okay, it's only water fluctuation. For those of you that don't know and are watching back this video, 1 gram of carbohydrates can hold up to 4 grams of water. So 3 grams of water, sorry. So essentially, if you have 100 grams over your carb limit for a day, you're going to be holding on to an extra 300 grams of water, which means you're going to be holding on to nearly half a kilo of extra water weight. It's as simple as that. Okay. So if you know you've tried if you've gone to Zizzi's, you've gone to um Prezzo's or anywhere like that, you've had a pizza and you've got 450 carbs and your weight's increased by say a kilo the next day, that ain't body fat. To eat like a kilo or pound of body fat, to gain a pound of body fat, should I say, you have to eat something like 3,000 calories over your maintenance level. So not only have you got to eat your maintenance level, which for many of you in a deficit is about 2,500, you've then got to eat 3,000 over that, like consecutively. Okay. So any adjustments you see on the scales the next day will be purely water. And again, as some of you may know, I'm deep diving into the world of digestion. And the issues that will then complicate with that. Hence why on many of your trackers now, we're tracking your digestion. So we can see, okay, they went out over the weekend, they then had digestive issues Sunday, Monday, the weight hasn't come down, it's either increased or it's maintained, but their digestion's been a 1 out of 5, and they've gone a higher carb day on the Saturday and Sunday. Well, we know it's just digestion, okay? Unfortunately, shit will fall out of you 2 or 3 days and the weight will drop. And you will probably hit new lows the weekend, the Friday before, okay? This is why we go on the average on the week. Sam, mate, sorry for kind of picking on you here now again. Like we had a conversation earlier on today. Day to day, if you don't mind me sharing, sorry. Um, Obviously, as a lot of you know, day-to-day fluctuations happen. Okay, but week on week, we're still dropping. Okay, so don't get bogged down with day-to-day fluctuations. Always look for a weekly average. Hence why I always try and preach to you guys. It's for weekly average we want to go on, not for day-to-day. Okay. Moving on. Drinking. Those of you that live and breathe Weymouth will know this is going to be fucking difficult. Okay. Weymouth is known for the harbour. However, at the moment, I've noticed the harbour has died a death, especially quaysides. Um, it is impossible to keep you away from the harbour when the sun's out. Everyone wants a cider. Everyone wants a beer. It's just part of the process. Everyone just wants to go enjoy themselves. Okay. But here's some tips to help that as well. Okay. And a little reminder, excessive alcohol consumption, your weight will drop the next morning. Alcohol dehydrates you, hence why you normally feel like you're all parched and very dry mouth the next day. You're solely dehydrated. If you then weigh yourself, you will be at a new low regardless. Okay. It'd be the day afterwards where you'll get that spike up. Okay. As many of you might have seen already when it comes to drinking. So just a heads up. If you do have an excessive amount of alcohol, it will spike down the next morning. Okay. So here are some pretty standard tips, as you probably guys already know. Diet mixes, nice and simple. 0 calorie drinks is what I preach to everyone. Let's eat your calories. Let's enjoy the eating process of it rather than um, wasting on drinking calories. Monster Ultra instead of Monster Juice, for example. Okay. So slimline tonics, soda with your wine spritzes instead of lemonade, Diet Coke, even though most lemonades now are sugar-free in pubs and clubs as well. Water, biggest one. Keep yourself hydrated throughout the night. Okay. You're also going to feel fuller. So you might get to the point of, say, 1 o'clock in the morning where you're going, do you know what? I actually can't drink anymore. It's because you hydrated yourself throughout the night. Yes, you're going to be pissing like a sieve, don't get me wrong, but you're not going to be hanging the next day. You're going to feel better. You're going to feel a bit more refreshed, more hydrated. And if you do want to weigh the next day, probably wouldn't recommend it. It's not going to be as big a hit on the scales. You're not going to get as much fluctuation. Okay. I normally recommend one rocks glass. That's your mini shorts glasses. Sorry for the hospitality talk there. Um, every 2 to 3 drinks. Especially if you're drinking wine. Um, and if you're drinking beer, just give yourself a beer limit. Lighter beers if you want as well, spirit alternatives. So for example, Corona is really good, gins, white rums, vodka, white wine. Anything that's kind of darker in terms of your dark rums, whiskies, tequila, stuff like that, sambucas and whatnot, for your shots and all that can be quite more higher in calories essentially. Okay. So lighter beer alternatives are really good. And if you want to drink beer, just set yourself a beer limit because if you look at your calories and say a pint of Stella is like 200 calories, same as Guinness, it's like 200 calories per pint of Guinness. Um, so you might want to give yourself, say, a free beer limit and then move on to your gin and slim lines, your gin and lemonades, your white rums and stuff like that, which is going to be a little bit better on calories for that. Okay. Be mindful of your mind playing tricks on you. Are you really hungry? This is mainly aimed at the next day and that night. I'm still a sucker for it now. I will walk past Surfside, especially when I was a bigger lad. And I'd be like, right, let's go in there, especially with who knows him. There's a bloke called Rampton I used to work with at Rendezvous. We would have a competition to see how many food, like how much we could eat in a night. And what was a point in it? You were just hanging, you were pissed, you just want something big, greasy, and dirty. Okay. Again, keeping yourself hydrated throughout the night is going to help that towards the end of the night. You're going to be a little bit more with it because you're probably not going to be as pissed, which means when you walk, if you do go to the kebab shop, I'm not saying you can't go to the kebab shop, you're going to go in and go, do you know what? Instead of having a fucking mixed large doner meat with chips and 20 jalapeno bites and a pizza, that's an excessive amount, but that's probably what I would order. Um, you'd go for, do you know what? I'm gonna have a chicken wrap with, might have a portion of chips, might not. Okay. I might have a chicken pitta or a chicken sheesh or something like that. Guess what? Chicken's your fucking protein. Nothing wrong with a pitta, nothing wrong with a wrap, nothing wrong with filling it up with salad. Okay. Still have some chips if you want them. Or even chicken and chips. What's wrong with fucking chicken and chips? Everyone loves chicken and chips. It's my go-to. Literally is my go-to now if I go out. When I go out, which is very rarely. Um, so yeah, just be careful of your mind playing tricks on you, especially the next day. Like waking up the next morning, you're gonna. I think I've put a story up, a reel up about it before. You wake up, you're hanging, you go, do you know what? I'm gonna have a Mackey's breakfast. You miss the Mackey's breakfast cut off order for a starter, which means you've got to order a Big Mac. You then order a tactical burger because why not? No one's ordering just a Big Mac from McDonald's on Just Eat anymore. You then order a McFlurry because again, why not? That's 1,500 to 2,000 calories just there. That's before you've eaten anything else throughout the day, which means you've probably been in a deficit Monday to Friday. This is all kind of basic stuff now, which you've probably seen on socials before. Um, then on the weekends, you're going, sweet, I've had my kebab and stuff on the Saturday night on the way home. I've had my 10 beers, which is about 5,000 calories. I don't know, just making fucking random numbers up now. And then on the Sunday, you're looking and going, do you know what? I'm going to smash my Mackies with 2,000 calories. I feel like crap. And now I've got to eat stuff on top of that as well. Because guess what? I'm only satisfied for about 20 minutes. You've got the rest of the day to do now. I mean, you're stuck in a cycle. I described it to a client the other day as like a credit card. Okay. You're using your credit card like on a weekend, you're then paying it off Monday to Friday. You're paying off that credit card, you're saving your calories Monday to Friday to then use it all on a Saturday, and you're just stuck in that vicious cycle. Okay. So just be a bit more wary when you're having a beverage, essentially. Okay. And just enjoy it. Like that's my biggest thing is just fucking enjoy summer. Like it's there to have fun and enjoy. There are methods and plans we can add in into your diets and phases to help with this. For an example, we can add in reverse phases. We can add in diet breaks at a certain point. I know a few of you, who, if you're going to be watching back on this, have got diet breaks planned in towards, I think, mid-August or maybe the end of August or in July or around a social event. So if I know you've got a social event on like on a weekend, we'll probably put you in a diet break if needed the week before and the week after. That doesn't mean you can go and have Mackey's and fucking a large mixed donut wrap. It just means you can have more of what you're already eating. So you can feel fuller going into these events, which means it's going to be a little bit easier. Or on the day, you can just save a bit more calories and have it towards your brunches and stuff like that. Okay. If you want to remember, you are investing in your health and nutrition as well. Okay. It is and not and. You probably know my spelling shit by now. Um, so remember this, you're still investing. You're still wanting to work towards that bigger goal. So why do all this work now to then literally fuck it up just with 1 or 2 weekends in summer? Okay. Yes, it's fair to be enjoyed. Yes, it's fair to have fun. But you've got to get that right balance, okay? Monday to Friday, majority of you have got more structure, more balance to be able to bank calories, reduce them, a bit more disciplined to then allow yourself a bit more freedom on the weekend. Remember, consistency, consistency, consistency. If we're consistent 80% of the time, 90% of the time, and we have a day like sorry Mills, like we go one day over. Um, so she'll know what I mean by that because we'll have 100 days, let's say. We've had 100 days, 107 days, or however long you've been, like anyone's been on program with me. One little day isn't going to spoil those 100 days. That's literally 1%, and we want 80% consistency. Okay. It's that's going to get you your goal. Okay. Over a prolonged period of time. If you're consistently weekend after weekend after weekend after weekend going, oh, do you know what? I'm going to have this weekend. 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 Okay, it's going to get tough. It's going to get to the point of we're just going around in circles. At that point, we'll probably look to just to reverse you out for summer and just make sure you're at maintenance and balance them out as much as possible. And then we can go into a dieting phase after September. That is something we can do. For those who are watching back and have joined me recently, Unfortunately, it's going to be a summer of dieting. It's just how we manage it, which is going to make the difference. Okay. And remember, you're it's all up to you as well. Okay. Like I I give you the tools, I will give you the plan, I will give you my guidance on what I think you should do individually. But remember, it's up to you to implement it. Okay. Remember, you're paying for a service at the end of the day. You're paying me to help you. Why would you not want to action that help I've given you? Okay. As I said here, if you are dieting, I'm sorry, you will have to make choices and sacrifices. That's just part of it. Okay. You're looking to improve yourself physically, which requires you doing things differently to what you've done in the past. What you did last summer, unfortunately, we're going to have to do differently this summer. Okay. Hence why we might be in this position now. If you have multiple events in a week, again, you have to pick which ones we're slightly stricter on. And as I've just said there, okay, I provide the tools and means, basically the guide of what I think you should do, but ultimately it's your choice. It's you to action it. Okay. Without sounding like a fucking dick, there's no point blaming me if I've given you the tools on what I think you should do for that week. Okay. If you know you've got a big bottomless brunch or you've got a big party on Saturday night and and you said to me, Jack, do you know what? I really told you. I really want to go out, have fun on Saturday. Okay. I really want to enjoy myself without feeling too restrictive. Sweet. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday, we're going to have to do this. I want you to do this. Okay. We might look at increasing cardio a little bit. We might drop the calories. Okay. If we get to your check-in the week after and go, well, mate, what the fuck happened? And you go, yeah, well, this came up. I just didn't want to do it. I thought I was going to be okay. Like, it's just a little bit more like, I mean, you've gone over your, like, and you essentially you ignored what I've fucking given you. What's the fucking point? Okay, just remember, that's not me being a fucking selfish prick and turn around going, I'm the dog's bollocks, I'm the best coach going, because I'm not, I'm shit. I found out today I'm pissing a lot of coaches off in Weymouth, which must mean I'm doing a good thing. Um, so ultimately, the decision's on you. It's up to you if you want to action it. I'll give you the tools and guide, but it's up to you. Okay. Finishing off, remember, it's for consistency over time, like I've said. We're after. If you're having more off days than on days, that's not being consistent towards your goals. 1 or 2 days won't harm it as long as we're ticking everything off around it. Okay. You can enjoy it by being fucking disciplined. And Sam will appreciate this because he'll probably get this quote. But this is a great little TikTok, which some of you might or might not see or know. Oh, this is going to be so awkward now because I have to bloody restart it. Essentially that. You can enjoy it by being disciplined Monday to Friday. Okay. And manage the best team in Yorkshire. Who's that? Oh, Sheffield. Sheffield United, I think then. But yeah, that is essentially my summer guide. Okay. Take off from it what you will. Some of you have probably who are watching this live on the call. I know Kay and Mill, you definitely have probably actioned some of this throughout your training and coaching with me anyway. Whoever's watching back has almost certainly done it as well. But for those of you which are watching this either on playback or are new to my coaching or new to my coaching, um, that is essentially the one of the easiest ways to try and manage summer is to just plan, and have structure. Okay. And that's that. Don't really know how I was going to end this, to be honest. Um, I'm going to open the floor up. If there's any questions, just say yes in the chat and I'll unmute you so that you can answer them if you want to, that is. But yeah, that is essentially summer. Okay. You can enjoy it, but you'll be enjoyed by being disciplined. Okay. Consistency over the next 2 months is what's going to get us in the best possible position come September. Okay. If we can say get through summer and majority of you have either maintained weight. Sam, is it true that there's a place in a man said that if you shoot it, it will blow up? That's a Hot Fuzz reference. I rate it. um, Even if we can maintain through summer, okay, and then come September, we go back into a dieting phase, and you drop a shit ton of weight. That's summer fantastically negotiated for me, okay. If you come out the end of summer and we're in a better position than we went into it, that's even better. Okay. What we don't want to do is just look for little excuses to not go to the gym. Okay. We want to look for little excuses to not stick to our plan. Okay. One meal a week or something with your partners isn't going to harm your progress. Okay. Multiple nights out, multiple meals a week, they probably are. Okay. And that's where you're going to have to put your big boy and big girl pants on and go, do you know what? I really want to work towards my goals. And if it's going to sound dickish again, but I put it on my story yesterday because Tamara, who was meant to be in this call tonight, but she couldn't make it. She went out for a weekend, and everyone was questioning why she was doing what she'd done, or why was she coaching, why was she dieting, why was she training. It's like you don't need to train. Why are you doing this? You're boring. Why are you doing it? And I went, these are people who essentially love and are your mates. So why wouldn't they want to support you? Why wouldn't they want what's best for you? You might not agree with it, but at least fucking support them at the end of the day. And I just don't get it with people at the moment. Fuck knows. Basically, like, why would he want to support your mate at the end of the day, their journey? Everyone at the moment just seems to be going through a fitness journey or some sort of training, working towards something, whether it's a high rocks, whether it's a bodybuilding show, whether it's wedding prep, whether it's holidays, anything. So why wouldn't you just want to support your mates?